Hey, welcome back to Kindergarten Ready. Tonight we're going to start a brand new Junie B. Jones book, okay? Tonight we're going to start Junie B. Jones and Her Big Fat Mouth. It's written by Barbara Park and it's illustrated by Denise Brunkus. All right, let's get started. Chapter 1, Punishment. My name is Junie B. Jones. The B stands for Beatrice, except I don't like Beatrice. I just like B, and that's all. I go to kindergarten. My room is named Room 9, and there are lots of rules in that place. Like no shouting, and no running in the hall, and no butting the other children in the stomach with your head. Look at her. My teacher's name is Mrs. She has another name too, but I just like Mrs. and that's all. Last week, Mrs. clapped her hands together. She made an announcement to us. Announcement is a school word for telling us something very important. Boys and girls, may I please have your attention? She said. Today is going to be a special day in Room 9. We're going to be talking about different careers you can have when you grow up. Yeah, only guess what? I said. I never even heard of that dumb word careers before, and so I don't know what the heck you're talking about. Mrs. made squinty eyes at me. A career is a job, Junie B., she said, and please raise your hand before you speak. Then Mrs. talked some more about careers, and she said that Monday was going to be called Job Day, and everybody in Room 9 would come to school dressed up like what kind of job they wanted to be. After that, Room 9 was very excited, except for not me, because I had a big problem, that's why. Yeah, only guess what? I said. I don't know what I want to be when I grow up, and so that means I can't come to school on Monday, and now I'll probably flunk kindergarten. Hooray! Shouted a mean boy named Jim. I made a fist at him. How'd you like a knuckle sandwich, you big fat Jim? I shouted right back. Mrs. came over to my table, and she bended down next to me. Please, Junie B., you must simply try to control yourself better in class. We've talked about this before, remember? Yes, I said nicely, only I hate that dumb guy. Well, just then, my bestest friend named Lucille, who sits next to me, stood up and fluffed her ruffly dress. I always control myself, don't I, teacher? She said. That's because my Nana taught me to act like a lady, and so Junie B. Jones should act more like me. I made a growly face at her. I do act like a little lady, you dumb bunny, Lucille. She is mad at Lucille now. And don't say that again or I'll knock you on your can. Mrs. did a frown at me. Just kidding, I said very quick. Except for Mrs. kept on frowning, and then she gave me punishment. Punishment is a school word for sitting at a big table all by yourself. And everybody keeps on staring at you, and it makes you feel like P.U. That's why I come out to put my head down on my table. I covered it up with my arms, because punishment takes a friendly right out of you. And so at recess, I didn't speak to Lucille, and I didn't speak to my other bestest friend named Grace either. I just sat down in the grass all by myself, and I watched Janitor paint the litter cans, and I played with a stick and an ant, and that's all. I hate Room 9, I said very grumpily, except for just then I saw something very wonderful in the grass, and his name was Two Cherry Lifesavers. Hey, I love those guys, I said. Then I picked one up, and I blowed off the germs. I put it right in my mouth. Wait, don't do that, shouted a loud voice at me. Spit that out right now. I turned my head. It was Janitor. He was running at me speedy quick, and his jingle-jangle keys were jangling all over the place. Spit that out, I said, he yelled again. Look at her. So then I spit out the Cherry Lifesaver on the ground because that guy was scaring me, that's why. Janitor bended down next to me. I didn't mean to frighten you, sis, he said, but I spotted a bunch of dirty candy in the grass, and I was going to clean it up when I finished painting. He looked serious at me. Don't you ever eat anything you find on the ground. Do you hear? Not ever. But I blowed off the germs, I told him. Janitor shook his head. You can't blow germs off. Eating things that are found on the ground is very, very dangerous. Then Janitor picked up the dangerous candy. Now run along and play, he said. I did a big sigh. Yeah, only I can't, I said, because shot off my big fat mouth in kindergarten, and then I got punishment, and now I hate my bestest friend, Lucille. Janitor smiled a little bit. Life's hard sometimes, isn't it, sis? He said. I bobbed my head up and down. Yes, I said. Life is P.U. Then Janitor patted my head and walked away. And so guess what? I'll just like Janitor, and that's all. Chapter 2 is called The Cop and Dr. Smiley. When we came in from recess, Mrs. was clapping her loud hands together again. Boys and girls, please take your seats quickly. I've got a wonderful surprise for you. Then I got very excited in my stomach because surprises are my most favoriteest thing in the whole world. Is it jelly donuts? I shouted. Mrs. put her finger to her lips. That means, be quiet. Yeah, only guess what? Jelly donuts are my most favorite kind of donuts, except I also like the creamy kind and the chocolate kind and the kind with rainbow sprinkles on top. Well, after that, my mouth got very watery and some drool fell on the table. I wiped it up with my sweater sleeve. And just then there was a knock on the door. Mrs. hurried to open it. Hey, it's a cop! I hollered very loud. The cop come into room 9. He had on a blue shirt with a shiny badge and shiny black boots and a shiny white motorcycle helmet. Mrs. smiled. Boys and girls, I would like for you to meet my friend, Officer Mike. Officer Mike is a policeman. Who can tell me what policemen do? I can, I called out. They arrest people. Because one time some cops arrested a guy on my street, and so that means they made him take a nap, I think. Just then that Jim I hated laughed very loud. They didn't arrest him, stupid, he hollered. They arrested him. That means they took him to jail. So your neighbor's a dirty, rotten jailbird. Then the other kids laughed too, and so I hided my head. Yeah, only I hardly even know the guy, I said to just myself. After that, Officer Mike took off his shiny white helmet, and he told us some other stuff that cops do, like give our dads speeding tickets and arrest drunk guys. And also, he let us play with his handcuffs and his shiny white helmet, except for the helmet was very too big for my head, and it covered my whole entire eyes. Hey, turned off the lights, I said. She's being silly. Because that was a funny joke, of course. And then another knock came. And then, this time, it was a lady in a long white jacket, and she was carrying a giant red toothbrush. Boys and girls, this is Dr. Smiley, said Mrs. Dr. Smiley is a children's dentist. Dr. Smiley hung up some posters of teeth, and then she talked all about Mr. Tooth Decay. She said to brush our teeth at night, and also in the morning. Yeah, because if you don't brush in the morning, your breath smells like stink, I said. After that, I showed Dr. Smiley my wiggly tooth. Losing baby teeth is exciting, isn't it? She said. Yes, I said, except for I don't like the part where you cry and spit blood. Dr. Smiley made a sick face, and then she passed out mini green dental floss, and all the kids in room 9 practiced flossing. Flossing's where you pull strings through your mouth. Only pretty soon an accident happened. That's because a boy named William winded his floss too tight, and his teeth and head got in a tangled knot ball, and Dr. Smiley couldn't undo him. Then Mrs. had to call the janitor speedy quick, and so he run to room 9. He shined a giant flashlight in William's mouth, and so then Dr. Smiley got the dangerous floss right out of there. Room 9 clapped, and Dr. Smiley did a bow. Look at him. Teamwork to get that out of there. Then Mrs. said that maybe some of us might like to dress up like dentists or police officers on job day. Yeah, only what if you don't like drunk guys or bloody teeth, I said. Mrs. rolled her eyes way up at the ceiling. Then she walked Officer Mike and Dr. Smiley out into the hall. That's when room 9 started buzzing very loud. Buzzing is what you do when your teacher leaves the room. Y'all wouldn't know nothing about that, would you? I'm going to dress up like an actress on job day, said a girl named Emily. I'm going to dress up like a princess, said my bestest friend Lucille that I hate. I did a giggle. I'm going to dress up like a bullfighter, I said. Then I ran speedy fast around the room, and I butted that mean Jim right in the stomach with my head. And guess what? I didn't even get caught. That's what. All right, so join us tomorrow, and we'll read a few more chapters in Junie B. Jones and My Big Fat Mouth. All right, have a good night. Love you guys. Mwah.